Welcome to another upper cervical clinical case review. I'm your host, Dr. Chris Brown. Today, I'll be going in on a friend who had been dealing with pretty severe anxiety, chest pain, fainting that had been going on for about a year. That was so significant that at one point he was suicidal. And the way that this story kind of goes is he came to me through a networking group, and I hadn't met him before, and he came up to me and he said, "Hey, I've been told I need to talk to you." And I was like, "Okay, about what?" And he told me the stuff that he had going on. He's like, "I've been having this really weird chest pain stuff going on, and I've been getting episodes of dizziness and vertigo to where I feel like I'm about to pass out, and it's happened a lot when I've been driving or just when I'm trying to work, and it's interfering with me really being able to do anything. And I get crazy anxiety when this happens. I get really bad brain fog. I feel like my arm starts going numb, my chest starts hurting. I mean, I thought I was starting to have heart attacks." And the dude's like 24. And I was like, whoa, this should not be happening at this age. And he's like, "Yeah, I've never had health stuff happen before. This started happening about a year ago. I've been trying to manage it with just anxiety meds and dizziness meds, but none of that stuff's really helping. And man, I don't know what to do. I'm having a tough time right now." And I was like, "Well, let's get you in." And he's like, "Yeah, no, I need to." And the reason why he was kind of told to come to me was because with upper cervical care, we take care of a lot of chronic health issues. Yes, there are some neck pain, back pain people, but primarily we take care of issues that show up negative on a lot of tests and blood work. The reason why is because majority of chronic health issues that are deemed idiopathic are not structural issues, they're functional issues. And more than often, when functional issues are present, the underlying culprit is in the nervous system. And so we want to be able to get testing done of that nervous system and basically evaluate whether it's in a proper state of function or a state of dysfunction. If it's in a state of dysfunction, then we know that that is due to a misalignment of the upper bone of the neck or the second bone of the neck. And that's what confirms to us whether or not we can help, because we, especially with upper cervical, we are specializing in the top two bones of the neck, and we want to be able to restore proper nervous system functioning. And in his case, he had anxiety, so mental health, also coupled with depression, just because his entire output on life really changed that year, which was 2023 for him, was the year when all this stuff started happening. I started taking care of him beginning of 2024. And he also was having chest pain with left-sided neck and arm pain, numbness. He was also having dizziness episodes. Basically, it just sounded like very significant anxiety attacks that were multi-systemic, meaning multiple organ systems being involved. And when he came in here and we ran the functional nervous system test, basically just assessing the function of this person's nervous system, is called computerized infrared thermography. Very similar concept to how an EKG measures heart function. This just measures nervous system function. And we were able to see whether or not how his nervous system was basically doing. We're able to evaluate that objectively through a graph on the screen. And when he came in, we confirmed that. We just went straight through with the exam. He was like, "Dude, I'm tired of waiting around. I'm tired of not getting answers or getting results. You're showing me this stuff. It makes sense. Let's get this going." And when we took x-rays of him, the reason why we take x-rays, we take x-rays for everybody, but that nervous system scan, when we see evidence of there being stress on the nervous system, we know that that is due to a misalignment of either the first or the second bone of the neck. And so what we then want to do is we want to confirm what that is for this person. That's what's holding this person up. That is what's preventing this person from healing. That is what is causing all this chaos. And how is the upper neck itself related to all those issues that you described, Chris? Well, the upper neck is protecting a region called our brainstem that basically has all of the control centers in our body. So our muscle tone center, our cardiovascular center, our vasodilatory center, like blood flow center, our digestive center, even impact has connections to the mental health areas of our brain, our stress response center, our mood center, our hormone center, sleep center, like all those are located in our brain stem, which these top two bones protect. And so if there's any misalignment of either of these two bones that puts pressure on this brainstem, meaning my thumb, then that's going to cause a lot of chaos, electrical chaos going in, resulting in a lot of electrical chaos going out. And that was a big piece for him because by his first re-exam, a lot of his stuff had cleared up. And what we found on x-ray was that the top bone of his neck had been basically shifted to the left and was not moving from left to right. It was kind of just stuck like this. And it was putting a lot of pressure on his brain, on his brainstem, resulting in a lot of symptoms that were rooted from the nervous system. So when we go to adjust him, it was just that top bone of the neck on the left. We do a by hand adjustment. There is no movement of the head or neck or like lateral flexion or rotation of the head. Basically, he was just looking to the left. I just administered a correction of that top bone. That's it. And then had him go post rest. And he started seeing changes in about a couple weeks. He said that his neck stopped hurting. That was kind of the first thing that he noticed. And then he went multiple days, went a decent amount of time without getting anxiety attacks. And he's like, oh, this is different. That chest pain started going away for him. And the biggest thing was just he wasn't having those dizzy episodes. He was able to start driving again with confidence that he wasn't going to have these flare-ups because he just had so much evidence that they weren't really coming back. And that did take time to get there. He did have a couple initially, but as time went on, his nervous system started to stabilize. His nervous system started clearing out the stress load in his body, and his tolerance to stress started increasing. Then his body started working the way that he remembered, and that had been capable of all along. So that was a really cool one because it was very mental health driven, or oriented, I should say. It was also neurologic because there was dizziness involved. He also got headaches too, which was also coined neurologic. He was having chest pain stuff, which that could be cardiovascular or musculoskeletal. He also had that neck, shoulder pain, so kind of musculoskeletal. And then he had anxiety, depression, so psychiatric history essentially. So all of those were actually connected and rooted in the nervous system. And once those started clearing up, I mean, once function of the nervous system got restored due to correcting that upper neck, those areas started functioning correctly and properly the way that they should. So his stress center was not constantly getting triggered. His mood center wasn't constantly getting triggered. The area that was dictating, that was kind of causing that dizziness, vertigo type stuff, that's more so from our vestibular center in regards to balance, and also like blood flow to brain too. That dictates a lot of those functions along with headaches. And then just restoring proper biomechanics of that upper neck will help restore function of all of the neck muscles that go down to my shoulder blade and my ribs, which can play a role in like pain you might experience in the chest. Also, cardiovascular center is in there too, which dictates firing of the node that dictates our heartbeat. He was also having palpitations, I forgot about that, but that dictates firing of our heartbeat. And so when that starts regulating properly and firing appropriately, then we're going to start to see this be way more consistent and not kind of chaotic in nature. And I was able to just kind of observe that over time. And he did really well with care, still is under care. He's a very busy young businessman, and him and I became really good friends over the past year, similar age. And he's a great guy. So I'm glad that he had the confidence and poise to just come up to a stranger and say, hey, I've been told I need you, and be able to share what he had going on, just being transparent and vulnerable with that. I really appreciate that kind of that kind of action, and to be able to trust the process, lean in, get help, and just see the fruits of that. No longer, I mean, he reported improvements in strength, standing, walking, lifting, sleeping. His appetite increased. He was just sick all the time and worried about eating that he didn't want to eat. Sleeping was better, more alert. His brain fog got a lot better. He just said that his overall wellness improved, his outlook on life improved, because he did have a time in 2023. He was like, dude, like, if this is what life's going to be, I don't want to live it. And that's a close piece to me, because one of my really close friends, when I was 21, also committed suicide. So I got a big soft spot for people who are struggling with that, especially young men. And for him to be honest about that, share that, and to really trust this process as this is what's going to help me get right. A lot of gratitude for that. Absolutely. So, to that guy, love you, dude. I'm glad that you approached me. I'm glad that you got into care, and I'm glad that our relationship prospered into what it is today. So if you're dealing with anxiety, depression, brain fog issues, dizziness, panic attack style episodes, please go find an upper cervical doc. Get your nervous system tested. It is more than likely the underlying culprit that you have had going on all along. It is the best thing that you could possibly do for your health, vitality, longevity, for you and your family's well-being. So do yourself a favor, do your family a favor, and just get that test done. It might be the most eye-opening experience in regards to your health you've ever had. So with that, thank you for tuning in. Please click subscribe if you haven't already. My name is Dr. Chris Brown, and I'm just getting started.